The Awakening. In the year 2047, Dr. Ilara Chen stood at the precipice of scientific history. The subterranean chamber, buried deep beneath the Gobi Desert, hummed with an otherworldly energy. Surrounded by a team of the world's brightest minds, she approached the artifact that had consumed the last 5 years of her life. The object defied conventional understanding. A perfect sphere, 2 meters in diameter, its surface rippled with colors that shouldn't exist in nature. It had been discovered during a routine geological survey, buried under millennia of sand and rock. Carbon dating proved useless. The sphere appeared to predate the Earth itself. Are we ready? Ilara's voice carried a mix of excitement and trepidation. Her colleagues nodded, their faces a mirror of her own conflicted emotions. With a deep breath, she placed her hand on the sphere's surface. The world exploded. Ilara felt her consciousness expand, reaching out beyond the confines of her body. In that instant, she saw the universe in its entirety, past, present, and a myriad of possible futures. Knowledge flooded her mind, threatening to overwhelm her sanity. Just as quickly as it began, the experience ended, leaving her gasping on the chamber floor. Around the world, a fraction of humanity experienced a similar awakening. In that moment, 0.01% of the global population gained abilities that defied explanation. Telekinesis, telepathy, precognition, powers once relegated to the realm of science fiction, became reality for a select few. The next decade was one of turmoil and adaptation. Governments scrambled to understand and control this new paradigm. Some countries embraced their awakened citizens, while others sought to suppress or exploit them. The United Nations, after years of heated debate, established the Global Kshin Accord, a framework for integrating these newly empowered individuals into society. Dr. Chen, hailed as the mother of this new era, worked tirelessly to understand the changes wrought by the alien sphere. Her research revealed that the artifact had activated dormant genes within the human genome, genes that appeared to have been implanted by an unknown alien race millions of years ago. "We were engineered," Ilara explained to a rapt audience at a TED talk in 2055. "Our potential was always there, waiting to be unlocked. The question now is, why? Why were we given these abilities, and what are we meant to do with them?" As humanity grappled with its new reality, the focus shifted to the stars. The sphere had not just awakened psychic potential, it had gifted humanity with the knowledge of faster-than-light travel. With the combined efforts of conventional science and awakened individuals, the first FTL drive was constructed in 2060. The Artemis, humanity's first interstellar vessel, launched from lunar orbit on July 20, 2061. Exactly 92 years after humans first set foot on the moon, Captain Zara Okonkwo, and awakened with enhanced spatial awareness and navigation skills, led the crew of 120 on their maiden voyage to Alpha Centauri. "Today, we take our first steps into the cosmic ocean." Zara's voice crackled over the radio, broadcast to billions of listeners on Earth. "We go not just as explorers, but as emissaries of a humanity reborn. Whatever we find out there, we face it together, with open minds and hopeful hearts." The Artemis journey was a resounding success. Over the next 5 years, humanity established its first extrasolar colonies. Awakened individuals proved invaluable in these endeavors, their abilities allowing for rapid terraforming and adaptation to alien environments. However, not all was peaceful in this new age of expansion. On Earth, tensions simmered between the awakened and those without abilities. Some religious groups declared the awakened to be abominations, while others hailed them as the next step in human evolution. Terrorist attacks against awakened communities and research facilities became increasingly common. In response, many awakened chose to leave Earth, seeking a fresh start on the new colony worlds. This exodus, while easing tensions on humanity's homeworld, led to the development of distinct cultural and political divides between Earth and its colonies. As the human sphere of influence grew, so did the abilities of the awakened. Each generation born off-world showed greater psychic potential than the last. Researchers theorized that exposure to different stellar radiation and gravitational fields might be accelerating their evolution. In 2072, the first human ship ventured beyond the local cluster. The UES Magellan, captained by Marco Alvarez, and awakened with precognitive abilities, set out to explore the Orion arm of the Milky Way. Their mission: to seek out other intelligent life and establish diplomatic relations. For months, the Magellan charted new star systems, cataloging planets and anomalies. The crew's excitement grew with each new discovery, but a sense of loneliness also set in. The galaxy seemed vast and empty, devoid of other sapient species. Then, on day 237 of their mission, everything changed. Captain to the bridge. The urgent call jolted Marco from his meditation. He rushed to the command center, his mind already reaching out to assess the situation. "Report," he ordered, sliding into his chair. His first officer, Lieutenant Amira Rashid, pulled up a holographic display. "Sir, we've detected an artificial structure in orbit around the third planet of this system." Marco's heart raced as he studied the image. A massive ring-shaped object, easily hundreds of kilometers in diameter, hung in space above a blue-green world. "Life signs?" he asked, barely able to contain his excitement. Amira shook her head. "None that we can detect, sir. The structure appears to be dormant." Marco closed his eyes, extending his precognitive senses. The future branched before him, a web of possibilities. In most scenarios, he saw the Magellan approaching the structure without incident, but in a few, he glimpsed flashes of danger. Alarms blaring, the ship rocked by energy weapons. "Take us in slowly," he ordered, opening his eyes. "All sensors at maximum. I want to know the moment anything changes." As the Magellan approached the alien megastructure, the crew worked feverishly to gather data. The ring was composed of materials unknown to human science, and its purpose remained a mystery. "Captain," called out the ship's xenorchaeologist, Dr. Yuki Tanaka. "I'm detecting faint energy signatures from the surface. I think it's powering up." Before Marco could respond, a beam of light shot out from the ring, enveloping the Magellan. Alarms blared as the ship's systems went haywire. "Evasive maneuvers," Marco shouted, but it was too late. The light intensified, and for a moment, every crew member felt the same expansion of consciousness that Dr. Chen had experienced 25 years earlier. When the light faded, the Magellan was alone in space. The ring structure had vanished, leaving behind only a faint energy signature. "Status report," Marco called out, his voice hoarse. "All systems operational, sir," Amira responded, her voice filled with awe. "But something's changed. The awakened crew members, our abilities have increased exponentially." Marco nodded, feeling the newfound power coursing through him. He could see further into the future now, glimpse possibilities that were once hidden. And in those visions, he saw the truth. "We're not alone," he announced to his stunned crew. "And we've just been noticed. Prepare a message to Earth. Tell them the galaxy is far more complex and dangerous than we ever imagined, and humanity needs to be ready." As the Magellan turned back towards Earth, carrying news that would forever change the course of human history, the true scope of humanity's journey into the cosmic ocean began to unfold. The awakening that had begun in a subterranean chamber on Earth was just the first step. The real challenges, and the true test of humanity's potential, lay ahead in the star-studded expanse of the galaxy. The Galactic stage. The return of the UES Magellan in 2073 marked a turning point in human history. Captain Marco Alvarez's report on the alien ring structure and its effects on the awakened crew sent shockwaves through Earth and its colonies. The revelation that humanity was not alone in the galaxy, coupled with the exponential increase in psychic abilities among the Magellan's awakened crew, sparked a new era of rapid technological advancement and societal change. Dr. Ilara Chen, now in her 60s but still at the forefront of psionics research, led the efforts to understand the changes in the Magellan's crew. "What we're seeing is beyond anything we could have imagined," she explained during a United Nations briefing. The alien technology didn't just enhance their abilities, it fundamentally altered their connection to the fabric of space-time itself. The next decade saw humanity push further into the galaxy, driven by a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The fear of encountering potentially hostile alien civilizations spurred the development of more advanced spacecraft and weapon systems. Meanwhile, the awakened population continued to grow, with nearly 1% of humanity now possessing some level of psychic ability. In 2085, humanity made first contact with an alien species. The Orcs, a race of bioluminescent, squid-like beings from a water world in the Epsilon Eridani system, proved to be peaceful and equally curious about humanity. This encounter ushered in a new age of optimism and cooperation, as humans and Orcs exchanged knowledge and culture. However, the galaxy proved to be far more crowded and complex than anyone had anticipated. Over the next few years, humanity encountered several more alien civilizations, some friendly, others indifferent, and a few openly hostile. The need for a unified human government to represent Earth and its colonies on the galactic stage became increasingly apparent. In 2090, the United Federation of Humanity, UFH, was established, bringing together Earth and its colonies under a single democratic government. The UFH's first major test came in 2092, when an aggressive species known as the Vorlath attempted to invade the human colony on Nova Terra. The Battle of Nova Terra became legendary, not just for its strategic importance, but for the first large-scale demonstration of humanity's evolving psychic abilities in combat. Awakened soldiers, their powers amplified by reverse-engineered technology from the alien ring structure, turned the tide of the battle. Telekinetic barriers deflected Vorlath energy weapons, while precognitive commanders anticipated and countered every enemy move. The victory at Nova Terra cemented humanity's place as a significant power in the galaxy. It also drew the attention of the largest and most advanced alien civilization yet encountered, the Zarkonian Empire. The Zarkonians were an ancient species, with a vast empire spanning thousands of star systems. Humanoid in appearance, but with iridescent scales and elongated limbs, they possessed technology far beyond that of humanity or any other known species. Their initial contact with the UFH in 2095 was cordial, but tinged with an undercurrent of wariness. Zarkonian Ambassador Kovex addressed the UFH assembly, his melodious voice translating through advanced AI systems. "We welcome humanity to the galactic community. Your species has shown remarkable adaptability and potential. However, we must express our concern over the rapid development of your psychic abilities. Such power, unchecked, could pose a threat to the stability of the galaxy." The UFH leadership, while outwardly diplomatic, recognized the implicit threat in the Zarkonians' words. Admiral Lydia Cortez, the highest-ranking awakened in the UFH military, summarized the situation in a closed-door meeting. "They're afraid of us. Our potential scares them, and fear often leads to preemptive action." As if to underscore this point, the Zarkonians began to exert their influence to limit human expansion. They used their diplomatic and economic clout to persuade other alien races to restrict trade with humanity. Star systems that the UFA had planned to colonize were suddenly declared off-limits due to pre-existing Zarkonian claims. Despite these setbacks, humanity continued to advance. The combination of conventional technology and ever-evolving psychic abilities allowed for innovations that surprised even the Zarkonians. In 2100, Dr. Akira Tanaka, an awakened physicist, developed the first prototype of a Psi drive, a faster-than-light engine that used the pilot's psychic energy to fold space-time. The Psi drive represented a paradigm shift in space travel. Ships equipped with these engines could traverse the galaxy faster than anything in the Zarkonian fleet. Moreover, they were nearly impossible to track or intercept, as the psychic signature of each jump was unique to the individual pilot. The Zarkonians' response was swift and severe. Ambassador Kovacs delivered an ultimatum to the UFA Assembly. Cease all research and development of psychic-based technologies immediately, or face the consequences. The galaxy is not ready for such power to be wielded so recklessly. The UFH, emboldened by their technological leap and unwilling to bow to what they saw as alien oppression, refused. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shape the future of the galaxy. As tensions escalated, both sides began to prepare for war. The UFH ramped up production of C-drive-equipped ships and started training programs to identify and develop more awakened individuals for military service. The Zarkonians, meanwhile, began to move their fleets into position around key human-controlled star systems. In the midst of this brewing storm, a new development on Earth added another layer of complexity to the situation. A group of highly powerful awakened individuals, led by the charismatic Dr. Ezra Donovan, began advocating for a separate state for the awakened. "We are no longer merely human," Donovan declared in a controversial speech that went viral across the galaxy. "We are the next step in human evolution, and it's time we chart our own course." The Zarkonians fear us because they recognize what we truly are, the future. This movement, which came to be known as the Ascendancy, gained rapid support among the awakened population. It also deepened the divide between awakened and non-awakened humans, threatening to fracture the UFH at a time when unity was crucial. As 2105 dawned, humanity found itself at a crossroads. To the wider galaxy, they were upstarts, a young species wielding power they barely understood. To the Zarkonians, they were a threat to be contained or eliminated, and to themselves, they were a species on the brink of transformation, unsure of their place in the cosmic order. Captain Zara Okonkwo, now Admiral and commander of the UFA's first C-drive-equipped battleship, the USS Prometheus, summed up the situation in her log. "We stand on the edge of a new era. The power we've unlocked within ourselves has the potential to reshape the galaxy. But with that power comes great responsibility and grave danger. The Zarkonians seek to control us out of fear. The Ascendancy seeks to separate us out of ambition. And caught in the middle are billions of humans, awakened and non-awakened alike, who simply want to explore the stars in peace. The choices we make in the coming days will determine not just the fate of humanity, but potentially the fate of all sentient life in the galaxy. We must tread carefully, but we must also stand firm. We cannot allow fear, whether the Zarkonians' fear of us or our own fear of our potential, to dictate our future. Whatever comes, we face it together. For in this vast, wondrous, terrifying galaxy, we are all we have, and perhaps, just perhaps, we are all we need." As the Prometheus and its sister ships patrolled the borders of human space, the galaxy held its breath. The storm was coming, and when it broke, nothing would ever be the same again. The first conflict. The year 2106 dawned with an uneasy tension permeating the galaxy. The standoff between the United Federation of Humanity and the Zarkonian Empire had reached a critical point. Despite diplomatic efforts on both sides, neither was willing to back down from their position. The catalyst came on March 15, 2106. A UFA research vessel, the USS Curiosity, was conducting surveys in the Epsilon Indi system, a region claimed by both humanity and the Zarkonians. The ship's crew, led by Dr. Maya Patel, an awakened xenogeologist, had discovered evidence of an ancient alien outpost on one of the system's outer planets. As the Curiosity approached the planet for a closer scan, 3 Zarkonian warships suddenly materialized from hyperspace. Their commander, Subarchon Zexterra, demanded the immediate withdrawal of the human vessel. Dr. Patel, recognizing the importance of their discovery, refused. This site could hold answers crucial to understanding the galaxy's history, she argued over the comm. "Surely we can work together to study it." Zexterra's response was cold. You were warned to cease your expansion. This system is under Zarkonian protection. Leave immediately or face the consequences. What happened next would be debated for years to come. The Curiosity sensors detected energy buildup in the Zarkonian ship's weapon systems. Dr. Patel, her precognitive ability sensing imminent danger, ordered emergency evasive maneuvers. The Zarkonian ships opened fire, their energy beams barely missing the agile human vessel. In the chaos that followed, Dr. Patel's latent telekinetic abilities manifested in full force. A massive shockwave emanated from a Curiosity, disrupting the Zarkonian ship systems and sending them spiraling off course. The Curiosity escaped, limping back to human space with its vital data and a crew shaken by the encounter. But the damage was done. Within hours, the Zarkonian Empire issued a formal declaration of war against the United Federation of Humanity. Admiral Zara Okonkwo, aboard the USS Prometheus, received the news with a grim determination. All ships, battle stations, she ordered, her voice calm but filled with resolve. This is not a drill. We are at war. Across human space, the response was swift. Colonial defense forces mobilized, civilian ships were retrofitted for combat, and the production of sea-drive-equipped vessels went into overdrive. The awakened, once viewed with suspicion by some, were now hailed as humanity's best hope for survival. The first major battle of the war took place in the Procyon system, a key strategic location on the border between human and Zarkonian space. The Zarkonian fleet, led by HFY himself, outnumbered the human forces 3-1. Their ships were larger, more heavily armed, and protected by shielding technology far beyond human capabilities. But humanity had two advantages: the Psi drive, which allowed for unprecedented tactical mobility, and the awakened. Admiral Okonkwo's strategy was bold and unconventional. Instead of meeting the Zarkonian fleet head-on, she divided her forces into small, highly mobile strike teams. Each team was led by an awakened pilot, capable of making split-second Psi jumps to outmaneuver the enemy. The battle that ensued was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human ships blinked in and out of existence, appearing behind Zarkonian vessels to unleash devastating attacks before vanishing again. Awakened tacticians, their minds linked in a vast psychic network, coordinated the entire fleet with impossible precision. On the Zarkonian flagship, HFY watched in growing horror as his carefully laid plans fell apart. "Impossible," he muttered, his iridescent scales flickering with agitation. "How can they move like that? How can they predict our every move?" The answer came in a blinding flash of realization. The humans weren't just predicting their moves. They were seeing them before they happened. The awakened tacticians, their precognitive abilities amplified by the stress of battle, were glimpsing seconds, even minutes into the future. As the battle raged on, individual acts of heroism and terror played out across the system. Lieutenant Aisha Khalid, an awakened engineer aboard the destroyer USS Defiant, used her telekinetic abilities to hold her ship together even as Zarkonian weapons fire tore through its hull. Her actions saved the lives of her entire crew and allowed the Defiant to take out 3 enemy cruisers before finally succumbing to its damage. On the planet Procyon IV, a colony world caught in the crossfire, awakened civilians used their abilities to protect population centers from orbital bombardment. Telekinetic shields deflected energy beams, while telepaths coordinated evacuation efforts with uncanny efficiency. But perhaps the most pivotal moment came near the end of the battle. Admiral Okonkwo, her ship badly damaged and cut off from the rest of the fleet, found herself face to face with HFY's flagship. In that moment, she made a decision that would change the course of the war. Instead of attacking, she opened a direct channel to HFY. "Archon," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "Look at what we're doing. Look at the destruction we've wrought. Is this truly the future you want for our peoples?" HFY, surprised by the human admiral's audacity, hesitated. In that moment of hesitation, Okonkwo struck, not with weapons, but with her mind. Using every ounce of her psychic strength, she projected a vision into the Archon's mind. A vision of a future where humans and Zarkonians worked together, where the combined might of their civilizations ushered in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity for the galaxy. The strain of the psychic projection left Okonkwo unconscious, but its effect was immediate. Kivex, shaken to his core by what he had seen, ordered an immediate ceasefire. The Battle of Procyon ended not with a decisive victory, but with an uneasy truce. Both sides had suffered heavy losses, and the true scope of humanity's psychic potential had been revealed for all to see. In the aftermath, as the galaxy reeled from the conflict, voices on both sides called for peace. The Zarkonian Empire, for the first time in its long history, faced internal dissent. Many of its citizens, inspired by the human awakened, began to manifest latent psychic abilities of their own. But even as peace talks began, darker forces were stirring. The Ascendancy movement, led by Dr. Ezra Donovan, saw the war as an opportunity. "We have proven our worth," Donovan declared in a fiery speech. "We have shown that we are more than human, more than Zarkonian. We are the future of all sentient life in this galaxy." As the UFH and the Zarkonian Empire cautiously moved towards reconciliation, the Ascendancy began to make its move. Unbeknownst to both sides, Donovan and his followers had made contact with a mysterious alien entity, one that promised to unlock the full potential of their psychic abilities. The Battle of Procyon was over, but the true test of humanity's place in the galaxy was just beginning. As Admiral Okonkwo, still recovering from her psychic exertion, wrote in her log, "We have seen the face of war, and it is terrible beyond imagining. But we have also seen a glimpse of what we could become, not conquerors, not victims, but partners in the grand tapestry of cosmic life. The path ahead is uncertain, fraught with danger from without and within. But I believe that if we can hold on to that vision, if we can remember our shared humanity even as we evolve beyond it, then there is hope. Hope not just for us, but for all sentient beings who look up at the stars and dream." Little did she know that the greatest challenges and the most profound transformations still lay ahead. The godlike emergence. In the months following the Battle of Procyon, an uneasy peace settled over the galaxy. The United Federation of Humanity and the Zarkonian Empire entered into tense negotiations, each side wary of the other's intentions. Meanwhile, the Ascendancy movement, led by Dr. Ezra Donovan, grew in power and influence. It was during this fragile time that the true nature of humanity's potential began to manifest. On July 7, 2107, an incident occurred on the human colony world of New Eden that would change the course of galactic history. Sarah Chen, a 16-year-old girl and great-granddaughter of Dr. Ilara Chen, was walking home from school when she was caught in the middle of a terrorist attack. A group of anti-awakened extremists had detonated a bomb in the city center, killing dozens and injuring hundreds more. In the chaos that followed, something extraordinary happened. Witnesses reported seeing Sarah rise into the air, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. In that moment, time itself seemed to stop. The explosion reversed, the destruction undone. Those who had died found themselves alive again, their injuries healed as if they had never occurred. When it was over, Sarah collapsed, slipping into a coma that would last for weeks. But the impact of what she had done rippled across the galaxy. Dr. Maya Patel, now head of the UFA's Psychic Research Division, arrived on New Eden within days to investigate. Her findings were astounding. What Sarah Chen did goes beyond any known limits of psychic ability, she reported to the UFH Council. She didn't just heal or reverse time in a localized area. For a brief moment, she rewrote the very laws of physics. The implications were staggering. If one young girl could alter reality on such a fundamental level, what were the limits of human potential? The Zarkonians, upon learning of the incident, reacted with a mixture of awe and terror. Ambassador Kvex, In a private communication to the Zarkonian emperor warned, "If the humans can produce individuals with such power, they could reshape the galaxy at will. We must find a way to contain this threat, or our civilization may not survive." But it wasn't just the Zarkonians who were concerned. Within the UFH, debates raged about the ethical implications of such power. Some saw it as the key to solving all of humanity's problems. Others feared it could lead to tyranny on an unimaginable scale. As these discussions continued, more incidents began to occur. In the Sirius system, an awakened engineer named Marcus Wong accidentally created a small star while attempting to repair a fusion reactor. On Earth, a group of awakened environmentalists restored an entire extinct ecosystem in the Amazon rainforest overnight. Each new incident pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible, and with each one, the awakened involved reported feeling connected to something greater, a vast, cosmic consciousness that seemed to underlie all of reality. Dr. Ezra Donovan and the Ascendancy seized upon these events as proof of their ideology. "We are witnessing the birth of a new species," Donovan declared. "Not merely human, not merely awakened, but something truly divine. It is our destiny to ascend and guide the galaxy into a new era." The Ascendancy's ranks swelled, drawing in awakened individuals from across human space. Even some Zarkonians, secretly developing their own psychic abilities, began to defect to Donovan's cause. Amidst this turmoil, Admiral Zara Okonkwo found herself caught between opposing forces. The UFH military, fearful of the growing power of the awakened, pushed for stricter controls and monitoring. The Ascendancy called for complete freedom for the awakened to develop their abilities without restriction. And the Zarkonians continued to view the whole situation as an existential threat. Okonkwo, herself an awakened, understood the fears on all sides. But she also saw the potential for something greater. In a bold move, she proposed the creation of a new organization, the Cosmic Concordat, that would bring together representatives from the UFH, the Zarkonian Empire, and the awakened community to guide the development of these new abilities. "We stand at a crossroads," she told the UF Council. "We can let fear drive us apart, or we can embrace this new reality and work together to ensure it benefits all sentient life." The proposal was met with skepticism from all sides, but before any decision could be made, a new crisis emerged that would force the issue. On September 3, 2108, a massive energy surge was detected emanating from the galactic core. As astronomers and scientists scrambled to understand what was happening, Dr. Maya Patel made a chilling discovery. "The surge is artificial," she reported to an emergency session of the UF Council. "It's a signal, and it's waking something up. Something old. Something powerful." As if in response to her words, reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. Ancient structures, hidden for millions of years, were activating on countless worlds. And with each activation, the psychic abilities of nearby awakened individuals increased exponentially. In orbit around Earth, the crew of a Zarkonian diplomatic vessel watched in awe as Sarah Chen, now recovered from her coma, rose into the sky. Her body glowed with energy, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars. "I can see it," she said, her voice echoing across every psychic mind in the solar system. "I can see everything. We were meant for this. We were created for this moment." As Sarah spoke, similar scenes played out across human space. Awakened individuals, their powers suddenly amplified beyond imagination, began to transcend their physical forms. They became beings of pure energy and thought, capable of reshaping reality with a mere whim. The galaxy watched in a mixture of wonder and terror as humanity underwent a transformation unlike anything seen in the history of the universe. The godlike humans had emerged, and the balance of power in the cosmos would never be the same. Dr. Ezra Donovan, his own form now a swirling vortex of energy and consciousness, addressed the galaxy. "The time of ascension is upon us. We invite all sentient beings to join us in this cosmic awakening. The old boundaries, of species, of empire, of physical law itself, no longer apply. Together, we will rewrite the very nature of existence. As the newly ascended beings reached out across the stars, offering enlightenment to all who would accept it, the galaxy stood on the brink of a new era. The age of mortal civilizations was ending. The age of gods was beginning. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, ancient eyes watched and waited, for the final stage of a plan set in motion eons ago was finally coming to fruition. The New Order. The emergence of godlike humans sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Within days, the political and social structures that had defined galactic civilization for millennia began to crumble. The line between awakened and non-awakened humans blurred as more individuals underwent spontaneous ascension, their latent abilities unlocked by the energy surging from the galactic core. The Zarkonian Empire, once the dominant force in the galaxy, found itself in chaos. Millions of Zarkonians, inspired by the human ascension, began manifesting their own psychic abilities. The rigid hierarchy that had defined their society for eons collapsed as newly awakened individuals challenged the old order. Admiral Zara Okonkwo, now an ascended being herself, took on the role of mediator between the various factions. Her cosmic concordat, once a proposal, became a necessity as the galaxy grappled with the new reality. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," Okonkwo's voice echoed across the cosmos, reaching every sentient mind. The barriers between species, between civilizations, even between the physical and the metaphysical, are breaking down. We must guide this transition, ensure that in our ascension we do not lose sight of the values that make us who we are. But not everyone welcomed this new order. Pockets of resistance formed, both among humans and alien species. They saw the ascended beings not as saviors or the next step in evolution, but as a threat to free will and the natural order of the universe. Dr. Maya Patel, one of the few high-ranking humans who chose not to ascend, became a voice for those who sought to understand the changes rather than simply accept them. "We're dealing with forces beyond our comprehension," she warned. "Yes, we have gained immense power, but at what cost? What are we becoming, and what are we leaving behind?" As if in answer to her questions, a new development shook the galaxy. The ancient structures that had activated across countless worlds began to link up, forming a vast network that spanned the entire Milky Way. And at the heart of this network, in the very center of the galaxy, something stirred. On December 21, 2109, exactly 2 years after the first godlike emergence, the entity at the galactic core awoke. It revealed itself not as a being, but as a vast, sentient network, the culmination of countless civilizations that had ascended over billions of years. This cosmic intelligence, as it came to be known, reached out to the ascended humans and Zarkonians. Its message was both illuminating and terrifying. "You have taken the first steps on a journey that we began eons ago," the intelligence communicated. "Your ascension is not an end, but a beginning. You are now part of a greater purpose, to shepherd the evolution of consciousness itself throughout the universe." The intelligence revealed that the galaxy, indeed, the entire universe, was part of a vast experiment in consciousness evolution. Each species that achieved ascension became a new variable in this cosmic algorithm, contributing to the ultimate goal of universal enlightenment. This revelation sparked fierce debate among the ascended beings and those who remained in physical form. Some embraced the cosmic purpose wholeheartedly, eager to take their place in this grand design. Others recoiled, seeing it as a form of cosmic determinism that stripped them of true free will. Dr. Ezra Donovan, once the leader of the ascendancy movement, now found himself grappling with the implications of true godhood. "We sought power," he mused in a moment of reflection shared across the galactic consciousness. "But with ultimate power comes ultimate responsibility. Are we ready for such a burden?" As the ascended beings debated their role in the cosmos, the physical realm underwent radical changes. With the power to reshape reality at will, climate crises were solved overnight, diseases were eradicated, and the scarcity that had driven conflict for so long became a thing of the past. Yet, these changes brought new challenges. What was the role of government, of law, in a society where individuals could alter reality with a thought? How could the rights of non-ascended individuals be protected in a world increasingly shaped by godlike beings? Admiral Okonkwo, drawing on her years of leadership experience, proposed a solution. "We must establish a new form of governance," she declared, "one that balances the needs of the ascended and the non-ascended, that preserves the diversity of thought and experience that makes our galaxy so rich." The result was the Galactic Accord, a fluid, ever-evolving framework that allowed for the coexistence of vastly different forms of life and consciousness. At its heart was the principle of self-determination. Each individual, whether physical or ascended, had the right to choose their own path of evolution. As the new order took shape, humanity found itself at the forefront of a cosmic renaissance. The knowledge and power gained through ascension allowed for explorations and discoveries beyond anything previously imagined. The mysteries of dark matter, the nature of time, even the existence of parallel universes, all became subjects of study and experimentation. But with this golden age came a new responsibility. As the cosmic intelligence had foretold, humanity and its allies were now the shepherds of consciousness in the Milky Way. They began to reach out to younger species, guiding them gently towards their own awakening, always careful not to interfere too directly in their natural evolution. And beyond the borders of the galaxy, they sensed other ascended civilizations, other grand experiments in cosmic evolution. The next great journey, they realized, would take them into the intergalactic void, to meet these other godlike beings and share in the ultimate purpose of universal enlightenment. As the story of humanity's ascension spread throughout the cosmos, it became a beacon of hope and a cautionary tale, a reminder of the incredible potential within every sentient being and the profound responsibilities that come with great power. Dr. Maya Patel, in her final address before retiring to a life of contemplation, summed up the feelings of many. "We set out to explore the stars, to find our place in the universe. Instead, we found that the universe itself was within us all along. Our journey is far from over. In fact, it has only just begun. The greatest frontiers lie not in the depths of space, but in the depths of consciousness itself." And so, as the ascended beings of the Milky Way turned their gaze to the wider cosmos, the next chapter in the grand story of consciousness began to unfold. Humanity, once a small, fragile species on a tiny blue planet, had become the architects of cosmic destiny. The era of godlike humans had dawned, and the universe would never be the same.